many of America's heroes are found on the missing pages of history. Men like Marcus Garvey, who led the largest and most successful mass movement of black Americans. As far back as 1919, he coined the phrase, "Black is beautiful." But he taught his followers that black was not only beautiful, it was profitable too. He successfully used pride in culture as a basis for economic activity. Booker T. Washington was Garvey's hero. He believed in personal and group development and a strong economic base. "Cast down your buckets where you are," he told black Americans. Frederick Douglass set the stage as the first major black leader. Both Washington and Garvey were heavily influenced by his gospel of wealth. Today, economic development has returned as a top priority and has claimed the status of a social movement among blacks. As a result, black leaders have returned to the gospel of wealth. And they are looking back into the past, to Garvey, to Washington, to Douglass, for clues to the question, what is the color of freedom?
The color of freedom, it seems to me, got to be characterized as black. Black people have to free themselves.
Red, white, and blue. I would say freedom has no color. Has no color.
The color of freedom is always green. It's the George Washington. That determined freedom, the George Washington. If you have that and you have the wherewithal, you don't have any racism.
The color of freedom is green. It is the green dollar. It is silver. It is money. If you get money, you'll be free.
But most of all in America, we need black to understand the importance of economic independence, economic empowerment. The problem of black America is not a white problem. It, in fact, is a green problem. The color of freedom is green.
The America that black people live in shows unemployment at 15.9%. We're almost at 16% unemployment, juxtaposed against 7% for the nation and 6% for white America. We're looking at a third of all black people living in poverty. We're looking at 51.1% of black children living in households that are defined as poor. We're looking at literally hundreds of thousands of black people who every day are suffering for lack of capacity to take care of their families, to feed their children, to educate them, to send them to schools that will provide them with opportunity and access. So in our definition, therefore, the reality of black America is desperate.
There are approximately 30 million Americans with some African origin in the United States. They are generally portrayed as a down-and-out, economically deprived group. As a result, most Americans are experts on what black people do not have. For sure, blacks are not as well educated as whites, not by any means as affluent, and the jobless gap between blacks and whites is growing. In general, as the Kerner Commission reported, we have moved toward two societies, one equal and one unequal and burdened with a growing underclass, one black and one white.
What we are trying to do is to raise within our own community, like an investment banker, monies for the black institutions.
What we're doing, we are selling memberships to power. And every time a person buys a power tape, they buy a membership.
We have a total program, a whole program rather, devoted to black economic progress.
You are the new wave of consciousness. You are the beginning, ladies and gentlemen, of the end of the quest for civil rights and the beginning of the fight for freedom.